you knew how I adore you.
My life just flashed through my eyes, so that's nice. That was so scary. It's the first time that I'm dropping my camera, and that was petrifying. That was not fun. Anyway, moving on from that, today the weather is what some people would say awful, but I say that it's the perfect weather to do a cozy reading vlog. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. This week has been crazy busy with university. I am just so tired and I need a relaxing day. Today is Friday and I don't have any classes today, so we're gonna be having a very cozy, relaxing day. I want to read a book, I want to do some baking, I want to just relax today and take it easy. I don't have any plans, I'm not doing anything, so I'm so excited to sit down and relax and kind of just have all of the fall vibes. The weather is perfect for fall. It's the perfect fall weather. It's cloudy, it's a bit chilly, you can see the leaves turning orange, and it's perfect, literally perfect. And actually a couple of days ago I redecorated my Kindle for fall and it looks so good. I am so happy with how it turned out. I love these stickers, so yeah, I'm very excited for that. Also, I feel like it's the little things in life. Like, I bought some pumpkins and I put them on my room. Is my room fully decorated for fall? No, I'm working on it. My goal is every year to just purchase a couple of things because I don't want to go crazy and spend a bunch of money all at once. So I'm just trying to buy some pieces of decor, and next year I can buy some more. But it's so nice, even like the small pieces. Like, for example, I think that I have around like 5-6 pieces of decor for fall, and it's so nice, but it's not like overwhelming. So my plan for today is I definitely want to do some baking because I haven't baked something in so long and I miss it. Something about me, fun fact, I love baking. I like cooking in general, but baking, there's something about it that I'm obsessed with. So yeah, I'm gonna be baking something today. I'm going to obviously be reading a book. I'm actually thinking of listening to the audiobook because with university, it's kind of hard to actually sit down and read. So audiobooks have been amazing. I want to listen, whatever, to Assistant to the Villain. I think I have heard great things about it. I tried to read it a couple of weeks ago, like physically read it, and for some reason it was not making any sense. I think because it's a tiny bit more fantasy heavy, and I don't really read fantasy. I haven't read a fantasy book, so I feel like maybe something about that. So I'm gonna try and listen to the audiobook of that and see how I like it, because it is the middle of October, and after October I'm not really gonna be reading any more Halloween witchy types of books. I'm going to be reading Christmassy books, so I really just want to read as many as I can in the next like couple of weeks because I really do like them, and especially if I can listen to an audiobook about them, it's so nice and comforting. So I want to do that, and I don't know what else. I really don't know. Maybe tonight I'm gonna watch like a full movie. I don't know, I have some on my head. I have been seeing so many people talk about Harry Potter and like reading the books or watching the movies, and I low-key wanna rewatch all of the movies. I haven't watched a Harry Potter movie in so long, probably like 4 years, maybe even more than that, and I really do like them, so I don't know.
He rode in on a horse named Trigger from a town just east of the Mississippi River, and saw her standing there in a little blue dress. She was the prettiest girl he ever did see, but she almost wouldn't let him buy her a drink, 'cause her dad said ace high girls don't talk to cattle hands. But she took his arm, and then when they shared the sweetest kiss, he brought his pipe up to his lips and
The lighting is awful, but I'm hoping that you don't mind it. I am done with baking and they turned out really good, but now I just want to sit on my bed, maybe light up a candle or something and just read for a bit because I'm just really tired and I genuinely just want to read. That's it. Oh, also, like an update for the book, I guess. I am like 59-60% through the book, and I'm liking it. It's a lot more fantasy heavy than I thought it was. It's definitely like not crazy fantasy and I cannot understand it or whatever, but because it's also kind of historical fiction, I guess, it's kind of hard for my head to wrap around the whole thing. I thought that it would be like modern day, but it's not. But I'm liking it. I think that it's fun. I'm not 100% sure how I'm gonna feel about it by the end because I am 60% through the book and we have not really seen any romance. So it's definitely a slow burn and I don't know if I like that or not. I definitely prefer it over them being instantly in love. For example, the book that I was reading before this was The Wedding Witch, I think. And in that book, it felt like they fell in love in like 2 minutes, which is not something that I love. And for example, with that book, I just didn't care about the romance at all. With this one, I like them. I like them a lot, but it's so much of a slow burn that if like either of the characters shows up and is like, oh, I really like you, I'm gonna be like, what? That doesn't make sense. I don't know. You could say that they're just really, really good friends. And for me, I feel like I need some small little signs that no, they do really care about each other. I feel like we get more so from his point of view. We get more little things of like, oh, he actually really likes her and really cares about her. From her point of view, we just get that he is attractive, which that's fair, but I want something more, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna get that. And there's also like a second book which is called Apprentice to the Villain, I think, which makes me think that it's not going to be about the same characters, right? Or is like she goes from an assistant to an apprentice, kind of like a student to the villain, being a student in order to become the villain. I don't know. I don't know if it's about other characters. I'm hoping that it's about other characters because there's like 2 other characters that I'm really curious about. Well, actually, there's 2 more couples, I guess, that I'm really curious about and would love to see their stories, but I don't know. The name Apprentice to the Villain doesn't make sense with their stories, so I'm like, maybe it's not gonna be that. I don't know. I really don't know. Could I look it up and just have the answer? Yeah. Am I going to? No, but yeah, liking it. Not anything incredible, but it is fun, and I would say that it's more so vibes and kind of like not so much anything serious, I guess. And also, I am kind of curious about the whole plot of the book, the whole like mystery aspect kind of that is going on, which usually I'm not. Usually I just figure out who has done it, and it feels kind of boring when the characters in the book figure it out. But now I'm like, oh, I don't know. So that's kind of nice. But again, the fantasy aspect of it is kind of hard for my brain to understand because there are a lot of times where they will say things and I'm like, what? Something happened with like a creature, a dragon-like creature, I guess. I had to re-listen to that part so many times because I was like, I don't understand what happens. I don't understand what you're doing. I don't understand anything about it. I can see that you're describing it, but it's literally going in through one ear and going out through the other. I'm gonna read a tiny bit more and I'm probably gonna finish it tomorrow, which I don't know why, but I thought that I would finish it tonight. Obviously that's not happening, but that's fine. That's fine.
Take time, making you the minute made. We can do something new, let me innovate. We can take it slow like we iterate. So sweet like a lemonade. Took time, making you the minute made. We can do something new, let me innovate. Take it slow like we iterate. Thought I could run away. Your smile made me wanna stay. Come with me, we can make a way. Give me time, let me demonstrate. Want you over, want you closer. Let me love you like I'm supposed to. Any struggle, make it over. Just remember what.
I'm hoping that this doesn't look 100% awful. I just took a shower, so my hair is still a bit wet. We're just gonna ignore that. It's fine. But I wanted to give you an update for the book. I finished it. I think I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars. It was not bad necessarily, but it wasn't, I don't know, if you're looking for a no thoughts kind of book, I wouldn't say that this is the one. Even though the fantasy aspect was not like anything crazy, I will say it was at times kind of hard for me to picture everything. Now that being said, if you are used to reading fantasy, you read a bunch of fantasy, maybe you will not have that issue. Personally, I read contemporary romances. It was kind of hard at times for me to understand what was happening. I had to go back and re-listen to some parts, and I don't know if that would still be the case if I was physically reading it and not listening to it. But at the same time, when I tried to actually physically read it, I was having a very hard time. Like, I'm talking the first page, I was not understanding what was happening, what the main character was saying. It was kind of hard for me. And also the whole like way that the author did the "I'm in love with you" kind of revelation was not that great. I didn't love it. I feel like there were better ways to do that would make more sense and that would seem more realistic. But at the same time, I'm reading about people that have magic, I don't know, shadows, like mists, whatever, and that's not realistic, so maybe I shouldn't be expecting anything realistic. I didn't love it. I think I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars. It was good, but it wasn't 100% for me. I don't know. I'm thinking 2.5 or 2.75 because it wasn't bad, and I think that maybe it wasn't like the right time for me because I'm not used to reading fantasy. So if I had read some fantasy books and then went into it, maybe I would have liked it more. It was a good time. I don't regret reading it, but I don't know if I'm gonna think about it ever again. Probably not. I do want to read the second book because the first book, Assistant to the Villain, kind of ends on a cliffhanger. So I'm like, great, I need to read the second book. I was planning on reading it anyways. I was hoping that the whole story was going to wrap up in the first book, and then in the second book it would be kind of how contemporary romances are companion novels, I guess. So we would follow the story of other characters that we meet in the first book, but that's obviously not the case, which is fine. I'm hoping that we will still see them in the background and how their story unfolds. I will say I think that it was very nicely done. If you like fairy tales, I think that this book will be really good for you. It felt kind of like a fairy tale, and you know, okay, that's gonna sound so just, I don't know, I feel like for the people that will get it, but it felt kind of like watching Descendants, kind of like reading Descendants. It felt like we were living in that world. I don't know, I liked the whole vibe. I liked the whole point of the book, I guess. It didn't really work 100% with me. And I do think that the author is pretty talented because some things I was like, oh, I don't know how you thought about that. For example, the frog, I'm like, I don't know how you thought about that. For me, my head is obviously the frog from The Princess and the Frog, but I really like that aspect, the little frog with the signs. That was really fun. And I like our female main character and the whole like ending, what is actually like, what is revealed at the end. I really liked it. It didn't 100% hit for me, and it's kind of sad, but I'm hoping that maybe the second book is gonna be better. So that's that with the book. And before I close this video, I thought that it would be fun to do a cozy autumn book tag. I don't remember who I saw doing this book tag, but I'm gonna link down below the original creator of this book tag. I think that it was like a tag 4 years ago, but I saw somebody do it. I cannot remember who, and I thought that it was fun. So I took some questions from that, and I thought that it would be fun to just answer them because I don't really have hundreds like of book recommendations for fall, so I feel like this is kind of me giving recommendations, but at the same time it's more specific, kind of. The first question is, what book always reminds you of fall? And for me, it's definitely the Harry Potter series. I feel like most people will say the Harry Potter series. It's a series that I actually read when I was older, when I was in high school, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the world. And for like 3-4 years of my life, fall and winter time for me was basically just sitting and reading the Harry Potter books when I had time. So that's definitely a series that reminds me of fall. Even just watching the movies, they're so fall coded and I love them so much. So yeah, I don't have anything else that really screams fall to me. I guess like all of the witchy books, but when I think of fall, that's the first like series books that come in mind. The next question is favorite fall cover. I have a couple of them. Obviously You Again. I feel like that's a very popular one. I have not read that book. I really want to, but that obviously screams fall. The second book that I have is Can't Help Falling in Love. I think that it came out a couple of weeks ago, but something about it, the leaves falling, the trees, everything about it just seems so fall, and even the title just, you know, can't help fall falling in love, so that's definitely another one. Then kind of like more so witchy vibes, I have Best Hex Ever. I don't know if it's because it's orange. Well, it's definitely because it's orange, but the witchy vibes of it and the fact that it's orange and something about the whole like, not arch, the frame, I guess, that it has going on screams fall to me. I definitely want to read this before October ends, so I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but I really want to read this book. And the last book that I have is Unbearably Yours. This is the third book in a series, I think, and this book is screaming fall. The characters, the little blanket, just the whole like camping kind of vibe of the book, it's just screaming fall. I wish that I had read the first two books so that I could actually read the third book, but maybe next fall. The next question is, am I a late night reader or an early morning reader? I would say I'm definitely a late night reader. I don't know why, but I cannot really read in the daytime. I would always stay a lot more focused at nighttime. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that I don't live alone. I live with my parents. So at nighttime is the only time that I am alone, I guess, that nobody is making noises, nobody's like, I don't know, everyone's sleeping basically. So I have a lot of quiet and it's kind of like my alone time. I don't know if that's it, but I never was able to read in the morning. And also, I'm not a morning person, so for me to actually sit down and read in the morning, I feel like I would not really understand anything. I will say now with university, I'm more so an afternoon type of reader because at nighttime, I'm literally just falling asleep. But if we put that aside, I'm definitely a late night reader. The next question is favorite spooky read. I have My Roommate is a Vampire. I read this like a month ago and I love it. It's so fun. It's a rom-com. It's perfect. It's a perfect rom-com. It's so funny and so ridiculous, but in a good way. I really love that book. And then kind of more spooky, like even more spooky, is the Charming series. There's 3 books. I have read the first 2 and I really like them. They're so fun, and even though they have to do with demons and the devil and everything like that, it's easy to read and entertaining, and I really like them. I really want to read the 3rd book in that series. I don't think that there's gonna be a 4th one. I feel like it's just a trilogy and I highly recommend it. I feel like I don't hear anybody talking about it, and it's kind of crazy because I really like them and the covers are gorgeous. And then we have the ultimate comfort read. I actually don't have anything that it's fall related, I guess. I have 2 books from Ali Hazelwood. The first one is Love Hypothesis. I really love that book. It's my comfort read. It's one of the first books that got me into reading, so it's definitely like a comfort read for me and a book that I have reread a bunch of times. And then the even more so comfort read because of the vibes of the book is Love Theoretically, again by Ali Hazelwood. I love that book and it kind of is a tiny bit more cozy than the Love Hypothesis, I guess. So I would really like to reread it sometime in the next like 2 months because I really love that book and I miss the characters, which is a good sign that that book is definitely a 5-star for me. I miss the characters every single day and I really want to reread it just to be with them again. And the last question is my full TBR, like my full reading list. Obviously, fall is pretty close to being done. For me, fall ends at like the beginning of November, maybe middle of November, and then it's like Christmas time. So I didn't want to write 20 books. That is going to be really hard for me to actually finish. The ones that I definitely want to read are the Dream Harbor series, especially the first 2 books. I heard that the second book is kind of taking place more so in the summertime, which is kind of annoying. That it would be like a fall book, but I guess that's fine. I definitely want to read that because the 3rd book, I don't know if it came out or if it's going to come out, but it's basically a Christmassy book. Then I want to read Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This came out in the beginning of the year, I think, and I didn't read it because I was like, paranormal romance, I need to read it in fall time, right? Yeah, I have not read it yet and I'm kind of scared. I have heard some mixed things, which is making me really scared about it. I feel like I'm gonna like it because usually I like what Ali Hazelwood writes. So I don't know, I really need to read that. But I guess I could read it in wintertime, but I think that it will be a really good book to read in fall. Then I have my Vampire Class 1. This is the sequel to My Roommate is a Vampire and I just cannot wait to revisit the characters and get more of the writing because it was so good. And I'm hoping that it's going to be as good as the first one, if even better than the first one, because our male main character is so funny and so ridiculous. So I'm hoping that it's going to be even better. And then the last book series that I want to read is the Glimmerfold series. It's 3 books. Yeah, it's 3 books, at least for now, and every single one of them sounds so good. The first book is like about a witch and a demon. The second book is, I don't know, about a werewolf. Maybe that's the third book. One of the books is about a vampire, one of the books is about a werewolf, and that sounds just so perfect for October and Halloween time. So yeah, I really want to read that. The covers are also really pretty, and I have had those on my want to read list for so long, ever since the first book came out, which I want to say that it was like 2 years ago, I think. So yeah, I definitely want to get on that. I don't know if I will have time because it's a whole series, but I'm gonna do my best. And yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope that you liked it. I know that it's going to be a bit on the shorter side, but it is what it is. Hopefully next week I will have a reading vlog going up, and then I can just kind of get into a routine with YouTube and also with like university, because that has thrown me off my routine so much, but at the same time it has kind of put me in a routine, so it's a bit easier for me to actually get in a routine with YouTube. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, I actually had a lot of fun filming this video. I did a bunch of things that I really love, like reading and baking. Also, the cookies came out amazing. I ate a couple this morning and I they're so good. I forgot how much I love them, and I kind of want to continue baking because I forgot how much I love it, and I love the whole process, and like, I don't know, just putting all the ingredients together and making something from scratch. I forgot how much I love it. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope that you liked it, and I hope that I will see you in my next one. Bye!
You give me butterflies when you smile, and it feels so good.